Title: The Road to Serendipity. Lena had always dreamed of traveling, of seeing the world beyond her small apartment in the city, but life had a way of keeping her tethered. Between work, bills, and the routine of daily life, her adventures had been confined to the pages of travel magazines and the occasional documentary. But one morning, on a whim, she booked a one-way ticket to a place she'd always wanted to visit, a small town by the sea. She had no plans, no itinerary. Just a backpack, a camera, and an overwhelming sense of excitement. The day she left was bittersweet. Lena's heart raced as she stood in the airport, holding her ticket with trembling hands. It felt like a leap into the unknown, a decision that would change her in ways she couldn't yet understand. As the plane took off, she watched the city shrink beneath her, feeling like a bird flying into a vast, open sky. The town, when she arrived, was everything she had hoped for. Nestled between cliffs and the sea, it was a place where the world seemed to slow down. The salty breeze carried the sound of the waves crashing against the shore, and the cobblestone streets were lined with quaint shops and colorful houses. It was peaceful, yet full of life, a perfect escape from the rush of city living. Lena spent her days wandering the winding streets, stopping at tiny cafes where locals smiled warmly at her, and walking along the shore, letting the sand slip between her toes. She took photos of everything: fishermen mending their nets, children playing on the beach, and the vibrant sunsets that painted the sky in every shade of pink, orange, and purple. But it wasn't just the sights that captured her, it was the people she met along the way. There was Marco, the elderly man who ran the small bookstore by the pier. He had lived in the town his entire life and shared stories of the sea, of the people who came and went, and of the quiet beauty that made the place special. And then there was Sophie, a fellow traveler she met on her second day. Sophie was a free spirit, with a laugh that echoed in the air, and a love for spontaneous adventures. Together, they explored hidden coves, climbed rocky cliffs, and talked about dreams and life's unexpected turns. As the days passed, Lena began to realize something she hadn't anticipated: she was changing. The stress she had carried for years, the constant worry, and the pressure to have everything figured out, began to fade. Here, in this small corner of the world, she felt like she could breathe again. She didn't have to rush or plan every moment, she could simply be. One afternoon, as Lena sat on a bench overlooking the water, Sophie joined her with 2 ice creams in hand. "You know," Sophie said, sitting down beside her, "sometimes we're so caught up in getting to the next place that we forget to appreciate where we are right now." Lena looked out at the horizon, where the sea met the sky in a seamless blend of colors. The thought lingered in her mind, and for the first time, she truly understood it. This journey, this trip that had started as an escape, had become something more. It wasn't just about exploring new places, it was about discovering herself, about finding peace in the present moment. As the sun began to set that evening, Lena made a promise to herself. She would never stop traveling, not just to new places, but to the parts of herself she had neglected, the ones that yearned for freedom, adventure, and a life without limits. When it was time to leave the town, Lena boarded the bus with a heart full of memories. The road ahead was unknown, but she was no longer afraid. Her journey had just begun. And as the bus pulled away, she looked out the window at the town receding into the distance, knowing that she would return someday. Maybe not physically, but in her heart. That small seaside town would always be there, a reminder that sometimes, the best journeys are the ones we take to find ourselves.